Imagine a woman waking before dawn beside a dying fire. She does not know if her partner will return alive tonight. Every single morning for 50,000 years looked something like this. No locks on doors, no promises written down, only trust. Did our ancestors really believe in one partner for life? The answer hides inside bones, blood, and buried teeth. It hides inside jealousy itself, an emotion older than language. Let us walk backward into that world and listen closely. The body remembers what the mind eventually chooses to forget. Long before writing existed, human skeletons were already telling stories. Scientists can look at male and female bones side by side. They can measure size differences and guess at mating patterns. In gorillas, males grow nearly twice as large as females. That size gap exists because dominant males fight brutally for mates. One male often controls an entire group of female gorillas. Human males, by contrast, are only slightly larger than females. We are not gorillas, but we are not doves either. Something sits quietly in between those two extremes of nature. That in-between space is where our ancestors actually lived. Testicle size tells an even stranger and more intimate story. Chimpanzee males have enormous testicles relative to their body size. Female chimps meet with many males within a single day. Sperm from different males race inside her to fertilize eggs. Gorillas show the opposite pattern, with very small testicles. Only one male ever gets access to gorilla females. Human anatomy again lands somewhere between these two competing extremes. We were never purely faithful, yet never purely promiscuous either. Our ancestors carried both instincts folded into the same body. Now, picture a hunter-gatherer camp in Ice Age Europe. Smoke curls from a small fire near limestone cave walls. Someone hums while cutting reindeer meat with a stone blade. Children laugh nearby, unaware their species carries deep evolutionary tension. Desire and loyalty, hunger and love, all tangled together here. This tension shaped how ancient people actually chose their partners. Anthropologists have studied hundreds of human societies across the globe. Roughly 80% of documented cultures technically allow multiple wives. That single statistic gets repeated constantly and it misleads people badly. Allowing something is completely different from most people actually doing it. In nearly every one of those societies, most men had one wife. Only wealthy, powerful men could afford to support several women. Most men simply did not have enough resources or status. Poverty, in a strange way, enforced quiet, accidental monogamy for centuries. Hunter-gatherer societies show something even more striking than farming cultures. These groups represent the vast majority of human evolutionary history. Among hunter-gatherers, polygamy appears far less common than expected. Sharing food equally left little room for hoarding multiple wives. If everyone eats the same meat, status differences shrink dramatically. Equality at the campfire meant equality at the mating fire too. This changed dramatically once humans began farming roughly 10,000 years ago. Land could now be owned, inherited, and passed down through sons. Wealthy farmers could suddenly support many wives and many children. Poor farmers, meanwhile, sometimes could not find any wife at all. Genetic evidence reveals just how extreme this imbalance eventually became. One man living on the Eurasian steppe left a staggering legacy. Researchers estimate he has millions of male line descendants alive today. Somewhere between 16 and 19 million men carry his lineage. Meanwhile, countless other men from his era left no descendants whatsoever. Their bloodlines simply vanished into the silence of unrecorded history. Imagine being that man, powerful, feared, surrounded by wives and children. Now imagine being the man with nothing, no wife, no future. That inequality bred resentment, restlessness, and dangerous social instability everywhere. Groups of unmarried, desperate men are rarely peaceful or cooperative. They fight more, steal more, and destabilize entire communities quickly. Ancient societies slowly realized something had to change or collapse. Enforced monogamy began appearing again and again across unrelated cultures. Roughly 1 in 5 documented societies formally required one partner only. This was not romantic idealism, but a practical survival strategy instead. Give every man a chance at a wife, and violence often drops. Societies with stronger monogamy show measurably lower rates of male violence. Fathers who trust their children are truly theirs invest more deeply. That investment produced healthier children, stronger families, stronger surviving communities. Monogamy, in this light, was not natural, but it was clever. It solved a brutal mathematical problem hiding beneath human desire. Yet solving a problem on paper never fully controls the human heart. Pair bonds formed everywhere in every culture ever carefully studied. Two people choosing each other, sharing food, shelter, and worry together. This bonding runs on ancient brain chemicals called oxytocin and vasopressin. These chemicals create attachment, longing, and quiet aching when separated. They evolved because bonded pairs raised more children who survived. Love, in a sense, is biology's clever trick for cooperation. But bonded did not always mean perfectly, permanently, completely exclusive. Across many ancient societies, relationships outside the pair bond occurred anyway. These were not random encounters happening in careless secrecy alone. Often, the wider community quietly knew and quietly tolerated these arrangements. Modern hunter-gatherer studies still show this same complicated, flexible pattern today. Extra relationships existed, but they rarely destroyed the central pair bond. Humans, it seems, built loyalty and flexibility into the very same system. Now think about jealousy, one of our oldest, sharpest emotions. Why would evolution bother creating something as painful as jealousy? Jealousy exists because losing a partner once meant losing everything. It meant losing food, protection, warmth, and a future for children. Every human culture ever studied shows some form of jealousy present. That universal presence tells scientists the threat itself was universal too. But jealousy does not look identical in men and women. Men report deeper distress imagining physical betrayal by a partner. Women report deeper distress imagining emotional betrayal and lost devotion. These differences are not accidents or modern cultural inventions somehow. For ancient men, infidelity risked raising another man's child unknowingly. For ancient women, emotional betrayal risked losing vital resources entirely. A man's wandering heart could redirect food away from her children. Fear, in both cases, was really about survival wearing a disguise. Picture a young mother watching her partner return late one evening. Her chest tightens before she even understands exactly why. That tightening feeling connects her directly to ancestors 50,000 years old. Emotion is memory, encoded not in words, but in feeling itself. Now consider something long overlooked by early evolutionary researchers everywhere. Women were never passive prizes waiting quietly for male competition results. Ancient women actively chose partners based on skill, kindness, and reliability. In small, close-knit bands, everyone watched everyone else's daily behavior. You could not fake generosity for long inside a tiny camp. A lazy or cruel man would quickly become socially exposed and rejected. Women favored strong providers who also treated others with genuine kindness. Physical strength alone rarely won lasting devotion from ancestral women. Reliability, patience, and warmth mattered just as much as muscle. This female preference quietly shaped which genes survived into future generations. Meat choice was not passive, it was a powerful evolutionary force. Marriage itself, in some recognizable form, appears in every human culture. Every society ever documented has created rules around pair bonding somehow. This universal pattern suggests something deeply important lies beneath it. Humans needed structure because pure instinct alone was not enough. Left unmanaged, desire could tear apart fragile, interdependent survival communities quickly. So humans invented ceremonies, rules, and social expectations around partnership. Marriage became humanity's attempt to stabilize something inherently a little unstable. It was armor built around a heart that could easily wander. So what does all of this evidence finally add up to? Ancient humans mostly kept one primary partner at any given time. That partner mattered emotionally, practically, and biologically in profound, lasting ways. But exclusivity, as we understand it today, was often more flexible. Extra relationships existed, were managed, and rarely destroyed the core bond. Scientists have a clinical name for this messy, honest reality. They call it facultative monogamy, flexible loyalty shaped by circumstance. It is not a clean answer, and it never will be. It refuses to fully support strict monogamy as our only nature. It also refuses to fully support constant promiscuity as our truth. Instead, it shows something more human than either simple extreme. We are creatures capable of deep loyalty and quiet temptation together. We are creatures who built rules to protect fragile, powerful love. Every jealous ache you have ever felt links back through time. It links back to firelight, shared meat, and whispered evening promises. It links back to mothers protecting children and fathers seeking certainty. Nothing about modern love is as new as it feels. The same fears, the same longing, the same fierce protective instinct. They lived inside people wrapped in furs beside flickering ancient fires. They live inside you now, quietly, every single ordinary day. So perhaps the real question was never about ancient human nature. Perhaps it was always about what we choose to build together. Biology hands us instincts, tension, and complicated, contradictory desires to manage. Culture hands us the tools to shape those instincts into meaning. Our ancestors built loyalty out of uncertainty, love out of danger. That, more than anything else, might be the truest human inheritance. If they could build trust in a world without guarantees, so can we.